In today's video, we'll see how to create VLAN, configure the interfaces as access port and the trunk port. If you haven't watched my videos before, so related to VLAN, so please do watch it to have a clear understanding of what is VLAN, why do we use VLAN, types of VLAN, and much more, and also how to design the VLANs too. So in this video, we'll be concentrating on how to configure the access port. So for which I'm gonna take a layer 2 switch, connect 4 PCs with appropriate interface, and assign these two devices in the VLAN 10 with the IP network 192.168.1.0/24 network. Should be VLAN 10, and I will be assigning these two PCs in VLAN 20 with the IP network of 192.168.2.0/24. Before we configure anything in the switch, let's assign the IP addresses first to the PCs. So for the first one, it's a gateway. I'll be using 100. And for the specific PC, I'm assigning 1.1. The second PC, assigning 1.2. Third one, I'm assigning 1. My bad, it's 2.1. And the gateway should be 2.100. And finally, for the fourth PC, I'm using 2.2. As we have assigned the IP addresses to the specific PCs, we will log into the switch, create the VLAN, and configure the interface as access port. So in order to do that, let's verify first whether any VLANs is present or not. So it's common that it has the default VLAN 1, which all the interfaces will be assigned to it, and then from VLAN 1002 to 1005 will be reserved VLANs. So we have seen that there's no VLAN explicitly created, so we are going to create it by conft VLAN ID, which is 10, and giving the name as HR department. And for the VLAN the second VLAN, I'm just giving VLAN 20 and naming it as IT. Once done, exit out of the VLAN config, and we will assign these two interfaces to the VLAN 10 and also assign them to the access port. In order to do that, we will go into range mode, interface range, fast Ethernet 0/1 to 2, switch port mode, question mark will gives you many options, access, dynamic, and trunk. So for this one, we are speaking about the access port, so we will go ahead and will assign as an access port. Speaking about the access port is also called as untagged ports. When you're dealing with a single switch, the access port comes into play and it's going to carry a single VLAN. And in order to assign those interfaces to the VLAN 10, type switch port access VLAN 10. And for the respective fast Ethernet 0/3 to 4, these two interfaces must be in the VLAN 20, and we'll be assigning them to the access port as well. In order to do that, again, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. Exit out of the config mode and save the config. So once done, we will go ahead and verify whether the devices on the VLAN 10 were able to communicate between them. So in order to do that, let me put this in the simulation mode and take a packet, ping from PC 0 to PC 1. So you see the packet goes to the switch, and the switch will not forward to all the ports which is present in the LAN, meaning that we have separated into VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, so it's going to send only to the specific VLAN 10. So we have successfully configured VLAN 10. So let's go ahead and verify for the VLAN 20 as well. So I'm going to ping it from PC 2 to PC 3, and the packet goes to the switch and only to the VLAN 20. So now that we have successfully configured the access port, let's go ahead and configure the trunk port. In order to configure the trunk port, we need one more switch. So meaning that the trunk port is nothing but a tagged port. When you're dealing with multiple switches, the trunk port comes into play. The trunk port is going to carry multiples of VLAN. So I'm not going to waste your time on mine. So I'm going to just copy and paste. So if you see, the configurations will be completely copied. It will be replica. So what I'm going to do is change the IP addresses respectively. I'm going to just assign the IP address of 1.3 for this PC0, and for the PC1 I'm going to assign 1.4. For this PC, I'm going to assign 2.3, and last but not least, this PC I'm going to assign 2.4. Once you have assigned, again we'll try to verify whether it is working or not. Packet goes to the, let me just delete the previous ones. I get the packet, ping it, packet goes to the switch, only to the VLAN 10. Alright, this one is clear, and let's verify the VLAN 20 device as well. As you can see, it is communicating only to the device which is in the VLAN 20. Alright, so as we have built the topology for the trunk port, we will connect the switches with fast Ethernet 0/5. When you see the orange dot, it's nothing but the STP that's going on. So if you just fast forward it, it's going to just go to the forwarding status, and it works. Just because we just connected two switches doesn't mean that the VLAN 10 from this area, from the switch 1, will not communicate to the switch 2 VLAN 10 device. Why? Because we don't have the trunk port configured yet. So in order to verify that one, let's just take a packet and try to ping from PC0 and the PC0 in the second switch. As you see, the packet goes to the VLAN 10 on the switch only. So meaning that the switch port is not, the switch port is not configured as the trunk port. So we will go ahead and verify first whether the trunk port is configured or not. In order to do that, we'll type show interface trunk. It's blank, meaning that there's no trunk port configured. Let's check on this PC and this switch as well. Enable show interface trunk. Again, no trunk port is configured here, so it's blank here. Alright, now we will go ahead and configure the trunk port on the first switch, on switch 0, conf t interface fast Ethernet 0/5. I'm saying switch port mode question mark. As you can see, there's a trunk option, trunk. That's it. So once you configured it, exit out of it and save the config. In order to verify whether the trunk port has been configured or not, show interface trunk. So as you see here, the port fast Ethernet 0/5 is in the trunking status, and it's 802.1q. So we will look into this packet once we configure the trunk port on the other switch as well. Go to this switch, the second switch, and try to see whether the trunk port is configured or not. So we haven't configured any trunk port here, but the trunk port is automatically formed. So for the Cisco switches, if you see, there are 3 different modes which we will be discussing later in the upcoming videos. So the modes are on, auto, and desirable. Since we have configured manually on the first switch, which is the switch port mode trunk, it's going to auto negotiate with the other switch and forms the trunking. So when you see N-N0802.1q, meaning that it is auto negotiate. N means the negotiation, simple as that. So it's in the trunking mode, so I don't have to configure anything here. We will just save the config. We can also verify with another command, show interface fast Ethernet 0/5 switch port. So speaking about the modes, let me just go into the switch as well and show you what do I mean. This one, show interface fast Ethernet 0/5 switch port. Alright, if you see here, the administrative mode and the operational mode will be in the trunk. If you see the same thing on the other switch, the operational mode, the administrative mode will be dynamic auto, and operational mode will be trunk. So this is the difference, right? It's automatically trying to negotiate to form the trunk port. That's the difference I want to show here. And so once we have configured the trunk port, we will go ahead and verify how the devices in the VLAN is communicating from one switch to the other switch. Let's put this in the simulation mode again. We'll try to ping from the packet VLAN 10, the PC 0 to the PC 1 here in the VLAN 10 on the other switch. As you see, the packet goes to the switch. Let's view this one. And here you can see only Ethernet packet here. As the switch moves to the other switch, and if you view this packet, you can see there will be the tag added. So now you can see Ethernet 802.1q. So that's the tagging mechanism. This is how the tagging mechanism works. So this VLAN header 802.1q is not added when the packet forwarded locally, meaning that within the switch, the VLAN header will not be added. This VLAN header 802.1q is only added if the packet is sent across the switch through the trunk port. So the packet came from the PC0 to the switch. When we captured that packet, we were not able to see the Ethernet 802.1q, but when the packet was sent to the other switch, we were able to see the 802.1q packet, which is a tagging mechanism. We will look into this by the TP-ID. The TP-ID is the tag protocol identifier. The 0x8100 denotes that it is 802.1q VLAN packet. The TCI is a tag controller identifier. It's a hex value. So this means it's VLAN 10, the last digit of A, which denotes 10 in hexadecimal. So if I have to show you with an example on the internet, I'm going to just drag this one. We'll view it right here. So we have seen the X number was 0x000, and it states the decimal number is 10. So which proves that the VLAN tag is nothing but VLAN 10. So as we have examined the packets, we will go ahead and see whether the packet is going to the right PC or not. So now you can see it is sending it to the VLAN 10, and the PC 0 rejects it because it's not intended for that one. So the PC 1 is going to respond back to the switch, and the packet is sent across to the other switch and to the PC which requested. So we have successfully configured the access port and the trunk port, and also examined the packets of 802.1q and how it works. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Until then, bye from Rogan.